Right. Hello, everyone. I hope all is progressing well. My name is Kevin Dufresne, and what I'm looking at here is a list of points I think are really important to emphasize going into the workplace. My approach to work, if you will, literally one's place of employment. So, the first bit I have to say is, yeah, I got a job finally, so I'm grateful for that. And I'm always just trying to improve in every part of my life. So this is a step, and I'm glad about the people I work with, and it's been really good so far. So I have to keep that energy going forward. So it's a bit of appreciation. Always gotta show that appreciation because not a lot of people have, and that's very important. Like they have, but not necessarily what another has, and so that's something to appreciate in my life. So the first thing about heading into work is be ready to do your work. That's plain and simple. Once a person gets hired, ideally you're getting hired for more than just your personality, but because you're ready to do the work, because this is something that's a part of your practice or something you want to develop in or something new that you've been working on. Whatever it is, the focus is to do your work. That's the first point I have to tell anyone, because work is a part of life for anything you want. I mean, even if you win some big pocket of money, you're gonna have to figure a way to work it. It's true. Waking up, walking, everything's a part of the work. So that's the first thing. Do your work. When you go to work, you get hired, do your work. First thing. Learn the ins and outs and get them done, which is the second point. Learn your work. If you're new to the job, there's different processes at different companies. It's very, very important to learn your work. When I say that, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's just all a part of your growth, so that when you have to talk about it to the next employer or to your friends, some students, they'll understand this is what you or this person has gotten from their work. They learned how to do what they were doing efficiently and continue to improve upon that so that their processes become more efficient. So that's the second point I want to say. Learn your work, and which is a part of doing your work. You have to learn how to do your work. You have to learn how your work processes and better ways to improve upon it. Know yourself. Going into the workplace is very important to know yourself. Know your circumstances. Know your personal life prior to going inside of a space with other people's personal lives coming together to do work. So essentially everyone's personal life, depending on how one's workspace is available to be handled at work through some particular form of guidance, whether that may be a guidance counselor at work or a really cool supervisor. I think it's just very, very important for people to understand that when they come to work, they have to work. And I'm not saying you're a robot. I'm not saying anyone's a robot, but I approach it in that regard. And if I do have something going on, and I know there's someone that I feel I can truly trust, not simply with just the information, but with the emotional information, then that be a go-to person because they're mature enough, responsible enough to handle certain aspects that come with the position. And so that's why I say handle a lot of the emotional aspects outside of work prior to, or at least be very, very mindful, which is the next step. Be mindful of what you're going through. Be mindful of the people around you as much as you can be. You're not trying to dig into people's lives. You're trying to get the work done. And everyone that wants to get the work done is the people that are the people that you want to be really, really improving with, especially if it's a team. But just focusing on the aspect of getting the work done and being mindful of what's going on in your life and what's going on around you to a reasonable extent, especially concerning you. So it's like, just be mindful of what you do, be mindful of situations that you might not want to be a part of, or situations that you are a part of, Now, this is not all good or bad, mind you. This is just like a mixture of things, right? It just can be across the range of situations, but it's just important to be mindful. Be mindful of how you're approaching life at work from your personal life, how you're approaching your obviously life from your work life, which I don't think. I know for me, the way I live my life, I'm pretty like, I'm not saying I'm not. I'm pretty consistent with certain, like, I'm pretty consistent with what I do, so I'm very comfortable, and my balance is very it's constantly improving, and it's constantly improving. I'm not gonna get super hyper at it, but I'm just saying, point is, I do what I have to do, and I do what I need to do, and it's very important to keep in mind that everyone's life is different. Everyone comes from different perspectives and different understandings, different experiences, and different habits. And so it's very important that going into the workplace, a person is mindful of, most importantly, of themselves and of those things concerning themselves before engaging with others, especially and while engaging with others, and when departing from others, because all that plays a important role in how one's going to approach their work. And know the rules. It's important just to know the rules. Anywhere you go, know the rules. If you don't know the rules, don't do something that you think will break the rules. That's just a fair assessment. I always feel like it's important to ask permission and learn as you go. If you have questions, very important just to know the rules. I'm gonna leave it at that, just because it's important to know the rules. That's why a person goes through the trainings to understand the rules, so that they can be better at what they're going to be doing. So that's a great work environment, and also a great living experience. Come to work. Come to work, right? That's the whole idea. Come to work. So that means come to your job. Come to work. That's the first thing you should do. There might be a party at like 2:00, and the whole point of going to work is to work. So the party will come, but come to work. And then when the party comes, enjoy yourself. However that may be responsibly. But the idea is, if something's going on at work, come to work. Do everything responsibly. That just concerns your work. Get your work done. That's just really the key thing, because ultimately it's a business. Unless you're going into a place that says, hey, you come in here and we're gonna pay you, you just do whatever you want, then that's gonna be like, oh, it's not. I never heard of that kind of situation. But come to work is my point. Do what you gotta do concerning your work, especially. And embrace the good. Embrace the good. I know there's ups and downs. I've heard it a lot, actually, whenever I hear somebody talking about work, that there's something at work concerning the environment, whether it's like the actual physical environment, exclusive of the people, and then inclusive of the people. I know. Embrace the good. There are people that appreciate you. There are people that want to appreciate you more. There are, in good ways, there are people that just want the good, the great to thrive, the amazing to thrive. And if you're one of those people, then obviously it's smart to get with those people and not focus on the people that might seem like they're trying to tear you down, or the negative aspects of that are surrounding you, of the environment. Now, if it's something you can adjust, like maybe there's like bed bugs or something in the couches, then make that approach to suggest that there's bed bugs, and propose the plan and see if get some permission to help clear it up or get rid of the couch or something, right? That's important. But just be ready to embrace the good, because there's a lot of good, realistically. And sometimes, because I can't speak on every aspect, I'm speaking from my experience. I know in my experience, I sense a lot of good to work with, so that's important for me. But someone else might only have one good thing, and they might be great at their job, and they might have one good thing. Stick to it then. Stick to it. Even if the work involves the other negative aspects, do the work, focus on the work, and be mindful when communicating with those negative aspects. And then, just once you excel with the work, return to the good, embrace the good, because that is something that is important to build, the good part. Anything that's good up. You just want to build that, encourage that, stimulate that growth, because that's what helps one appreciate their days even more. Be happy when you can be happy. It's similar to embrace the good, but sometimes the happy moments are alone. Sometimes even I'm at work and that's just something that happens in the work. Hey, everyone has their quirks. Everyone has little things inside of them that are at work, because everyone's human, everyone's an individual. So embrace that aspect, and just if you want to smile, smile. If you want to laugh, laugh. Just be completely honest about it. Be real. And if someone asks you, let them know. So long as it's not like rude and displaced. And sometimes it's not appropriate to share that. So do what you got to do. Be mindful. Next thing is that it's safe when it's safe. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes when people go into their working environments, they're not really too sure of how they feel yet. They don't feel secure. And that's something that, hey, you know what? I'm telling you right now, this is life. I'm telling you, anything can happen across the spectrum of the range is infinite. Anything can happen. And so just know that if you got a job, let's say you just got hired, as long as you're doing everything that you need to be doing and continuously improving, then just consider it safe. All right, consider it safe. I mean, you shouldn't be doing anything that you wouldn't be doing anyway out of safety. You get what I'm saying is, anything that you would be doing, like how you live your life, it should just be done naturally, so much so that it can be done anywhere. That's the ideal. And when it gets to that point, then you realize you can behave in those particular manners anywhere. So remember, it's safe when it's safe. I like to say that because that helps people with understanding security is not there. And a part of security is the security that one brings to the table, that they are who they are and can be counted on to be who they are, no matter the circumstances. So remember that it's safe when it's safe. It's not just about the environment and how you feel in the environment, but what you make yourself in your environments, right? And so stay with people that want you to do well. There's something I had to stay separately, because embrace the good also is about just the good things that happen at work that might not be inclusive of people, but obviously I'm speaking in terms of connecting with people. Stay with people that want you to do well is more specific to people. Just stay with people that are doing well. Even they want you to do well, you want them to do well, and they want to do well at their job, and you want them to do well at their job. That is a great thing, because that is across all departments, if you have multiple departments, but there's always that inkling, and sometimes it's greater than an inkling across the board, and it should be appreciated. It's something that's necessary and something that no one honestly can say that they are not without contradiction. There are no contradictions. So realistically, you're gonna run into the people that really want to do well, and stay with them. All right, because the truth shall come to pass. So, and that's gonna also help with staying away from any negative aspects that you might have become aware of in your experience. Okay, this one is a tough one, but my thing is just don't overextend yourself beyond your position in a way that's stepping on toes. I always think it's important to talk to the people that are just essentially like your supervisor. If it's something going on, the person that is even if you're super cool with somebody that might be above your supervisor, or super cool with the person that might be maybe super cool with the president of the company, then I'll say, all right, if you have that range, then that's cool, that's great, propose them. And mind you, this also concerns your work environment, because you might be in an open work environment. If you're in an open work environment, then feel free to, reach out and do what you got to do. I always feel like it's important, even if you're gonna reach for, let's say, like the president or something. I'd say, send it to everyone up that ladder, just so that people are aware, people are in the loop. No one's like, oh snap, what the, you know what I'm saying? Because you might be thriving for something completely different. You might be going for something completely different, and it might look different. Communication is very important in the workplace, and like I said, we all come from different experiences, so everyone takes it differently, right? So it's so important to just be communicative, but just know that, know the boundaries. And also, this will help you live a stressless life. It helps a person know that, hey, look, I don't really gotta worry about that. It doesn't mean you don't give advice or, try to offer and try to help out. But mind you, how I'm saying it is just don't try to step on toes, or don't try. It's a good thing to know. It's people say, don't mess with someone else's money. There's, and I know it becomes a moral situation at times, right? But be mindful before making the approach, and then think about it. Well, hey, I think that this could work. And however you talk to that person, however you and that person have grown to communicate, whether it's email, in person, whatever it is, and then progress from there. But just keep everyone in the know. That's very, very important, and it helps a lot in terms of just creating a cohesive atmosphere, and it encourages. Okay, and get permissions is the next one. Get permissions for anything you want to do. I think it's important to get permissions, because it just helps you guide along. Like I said, being communicative, and keep it clean. Me personally, I don't cuss. I do not, I just don't use vulgar language, and that's nothing against anyone else. People express themselves differently. That's just the way I am, the way I develop myself to be from a while ago, a long time. But the point is that in a work environment, especially, just keep it clean. Just kind of because there are some people, it's okay. I'm mindful. I know how people joke. I'm not I don't want to use a word that's it's not a mean word, but it's I understand how comedians work. I understand how comedy can be, right? And I understand people will have different ranges of funny, and I just say, hey, look, the way you approach it. If it makes you laugh, you laugh. You gotta be also mindful how to channel a laugh. Sometimes some things are just funny, but they're not funny because they're funny because the actuality of what has been said or has been done, but because of how it's been said and done, right? So the ranges of comedy are very, very important to be mindful of when in the workplace, especially. But like I said, I think when in the workplace, it's very important to keep it clean, because hey, you just never know. One day you might come in that piece, and then someone got their kids there, and shoot, might get intense. And it also, all these things obviously depend on your work environment. You might go in your work environment, and it just might be wild across all different ranges. I'm just being honest, right? Because I don't know every workplace, and then that's to be considered there. And another point that I think is very important is to look. This actually isn't on the list, but before I was making the video, I was like, oh man, I think this is something I gotta mention. It's concerning just relationships at work. My personal rule: keep it professional. Keep it work. Now, here's the thing. People have different relationships with everybody. I do not know who another person works with. Just keep it fun, friend. However your relationship is, develop it. If it's, good, along those positive, that side, keep it good that way. I just think it's important for, as a single male, really growing and developing in my life, I think it's very, very important to be mindful of things that I'm doing so that I can be successful, and so I may do them well and not have to deal with anything that might attempt to impede that growth or that might impede that growth. And so what I'm saying is, it's good to just kind of be like, hey, yo, let the work be the work, let the work let the work grow, let the work thrive, let the relationships thrive how they will. Obviously aiming towards positive and just, great growths. But I also think it's very important to have that emotional side as a part of that. I think that's like a personal, I think that's an aspect that can almost intertwine the personal and the business. And I think it's very, very important that the emotional aspect is kind of separated from there. Like I said, and it's different for every single work environment. It's different for every single person, for every single couple. There might be some people that thrive in those type of relationships, depending on their environment. And I think that's great. It works. It works. I'm not saying stay away from it for you. I'm just saying my perspective on it. And I think it's just a point to take that, if whoever likes you, or if there's that type of situation approaches you, also speaking kind of from the perspective of like a new guy, but if that approach comes to you, then think on it. Then you can work with that. But ideally, just get the work done, get the stuff done, and as things with romance, if they come to you, they come to you, and then I guess work from there. Real talk. All right. Other than that, it's been great. If anything, leave a word in the comments, or just talk to someone else about all this. And have a great day. I gotta take a shower. I gotta eat, and gotta do some more reading.